Hi, my name is Bernd Herd and I'm working as a TME in NetApp's SAP Competency Center at SAP's headquarters in Walldorf. With this video, we'll like to demonstrate how customers can create a clone of their SAP HANA systems directly in the cloud, using cloud resources and their long-term backup that has already been created with AltaVault. But let's have a look at the setup first. NetApp AltaVault is a physical or virtual appliance customers can install in their data center. It will provide NFS or Samba shares as backup targets for the SAP systems. Instead of using expensive and slow tape libraries, the backup is stored on AltaVault, where internal disk caches the most recent backups, while in the background encryption and compression transfers the data securely and efficient onto cloud-based object storage. AltaVault is very flexible. Many backup tools are integrated and many different cloud storages such as Amazon's S3 or Microsoft Azure, as well as private cloud using internal object storage, for example NetApp's Storage Grid Web Scale, could be used. There are many resources in the web dealing with AltaVault and its rich feature set, but today I'd like to focus on additional features and values customers could benefit from as soon as they have modernized their backup infrastructure with AltaVault. Why not using the backup that is already in the cloud to create new test or training systems using cloud compute resources? No additional invests in hardware, but a fast and efficient way to extend the local IT into the cloud. With the additional benefit of testing your DR strategy as well. But that's not all. Why not using NetApp's highly efficient cloud storage, like Cloud ONTAP or NetApp Private Storage NPS? Many SAP customers benefit from NetApp's features that enable fast SAP system cloning and extremely fast backup and restore. All things that make the whole system lifecycle management so much easier. Also, the question of security and data ownership could be addressed when using NetApp's private storage. So let's have a quick look at our setup we'd like to demonstrate in that video and the 5 simple steps of the workflow to create a clone of SAP HANA system in the cloud using your standard AltaVault backups. So, step 1. Create a SAP HANA backup using AltaVault NFS share as a target. Step 2. Log on to AltaVault and check if the transfer to the cloud storage have been finished, and if so, suspend the transfer so that you can safely use the S3 target in the cloud to restore your data. Step 3. In the cloud, provision a virtual AltaVault appliance and configure it using your saved configuration. You may also pre-populate the local cache to speed up the restore process. Step 4. Restore your DR SAP HANA system based on the recent backup, which is now available at the Disaster Recovery AltaVault appliance. Finally, step 5. Resume the primary AltaVault cloud synchronization, but before that you have to unlink or uninstall the virtual AltaVault in the cloud. With this overview, let's look at the video. In our example, we want to back up an SAP HANA system via AltaVault to Amazon S3. So let's go to the HANA Studio and start the backup wizard. But first we select the mount point where we have mounted the NFS share from the AltaVault to the HANA server, and we need to specify a backup path or a file name that the backup files are created with. While the backup is starting, HANA starts every service to create its files on the AltaVault share. And if we go to the AltaVault monitoring area, we see the transfer of the files, so the increasing amount of files that are stored on the AltaVault NFS share. We can also see the replicated data and the status of the replication. So we see there are outstanding data that needs to be replicated. It's stored on the local disk, but it's yet not in Amazon S3. In the meantime, the HANA backup has already been finished, and we could double check the replication status of the AltaVault. So in the main area we see data replication complete. With that we have concluded step 1. Now we need to check whether it's completed, what we have done already, and importantly suspend the replication. So while AltaVault is still functioning, it is not connected to the S3 object store in the cloud anymore. So that gives us a chance to start the virtual AltaVault in the cloud, go to the console as you see here in that video, enter the primary data, so putting it in the right IP segment, specify the host name, and then after the initial start we can log on to the console and import the configuration we have exported from our primary system. So with that we have a connectivity to the S3 store, we have the encryption key phrase, so all you need to make it a secure environment and to connect to your backup stored in the cloud. So back to the console, we want to use AltaVault in a special DR test mode so that we can read the data. After setting that, we now want to pre-populate the files. So we select the last backups which are stored in the AltaVault and select them to be preloaded from S3 to the local disk so that later on the restore to HANA will work much faster. So let's check that status too, and after a while we can use the NFS share, we can mount the NFS share and make our DR HANA ready for step 4 to do the recovery. So after the share has been mounted, we start the recovery wizard. So back to the HANA Studio and the DR HANA we have prepared in the cloud. We start the recovery wizard, choosing a backup without the catalog, so we just want to create the new backup HANA, the DR HANA is yet not aware of. Select the mount point depending on where we've mounted the AltaVault share, select the file name we've chosen during the backup, and starting the wizard. So there's an option if it's a new system to also install a license key. We skip that for the moment. So the recovery takes some time, and after the recovery is finished we can go back in the HANA Studio and do the type of maintenance or start other relevant systems. But we have basically an exact copy of the productive HANA using cloud resources. So HANA Studio shows the system is up and running. With that, the final step would be to uninstall the virtual appliance so that the S3 object store is not connected anymore, and after that happens we could go to the primary site and quit the suspension mode so that the system once again is transferring the stored cached data back to S3. This concludes our video about additional and added values when using AltaVault so that SAP customers can restore their systems in the cloud. Thanks a lot.